Yo, what's going on, guys? Wanted to make this video as we are rolling into the OP16.5 meta. So this constitutes all the new starter decks, most notably the buffs that Mihawk and red-green Luffy got. All of these starter decks are pretty good, but these are going to be the ones that are messing us up the most. So kind of let's get into the deck list and what I'm running right now and planning to bring to the Oklahoma regionals in August. So I'm going to start with the core of the deck first, that way everything kind of ties together at the end. I run 4 Ran, pretty simple. I mean, I'm not going to go into every little detail about each card, unless it is kind of confusing. Ran's pretty self-explanatory. It's a trigger body, it gives you a Dawn every single turn. It can make you swing taller if you combine it with Perfume Femur, and it's a 1k at the end of the day, and also can be used for Gorgon Sisters effect. The next is going to be Boa Marigold. I am a firm believer that this is a 4 of, for the same reason as Ran. 1k counter, trigger body. However, at 2 or less life, this is a blocker. You're going to spend a lot of games with this not being a blocker for a while, especially if your opponent is good and they are starving you. It's okay to swing with this until you get to that point. This is nice because it's not something you have to leave up. It'll come in handy later. And it's just an amazing buff that we got in this last set. Gorgon Sisters is a 4 of. It's a great 2k. It's probably going to be way less relevant than it ever was. It was one of the strongest cards in the deck. Now I'd argue that it's just a pretty good body to set up, but our whole game plan has kind of changed. This is just a great card though. Next we have Shakuyaku. Same thing, 4 of 2k. It's a Kuja Pirate. Let's play this card. It's hand filter. You can use it for Gorgon Sisters effect. It's all pretty good. Next, you have the 4 of the 9-drop Boa. Also self-explanatory card. This is the best deck to put this 9 cost in my opinion, because we are healing, which potentially lets us draw cards. The trigger is something that can play out any of these Kuja Pirates, and also it burns life to get them to 0, and then you can swing 20,000 unblockable with the Perfume Femur. Kind of going into that, Perfume Femur is a great card to run as 1 or 2 of. I personally have it at 1. I've tried 1, I've tried 2, I've tried 3 at some points, but I think 1 is just good. Unfortunately, running less is going to make the Ace or Lucy or Rosinante matchup harder because it's something that you're constantly searching for, or at least drawing for, because the deck doesn't run any searchers. Some people do run the Marguerite. I'm not a big fan. I think trashing a card or just playing that card outright without the trigger is kind of a waste. Whereas, you know, you're not really playing something like Shakuyaku from your hand. It's something that you're triggering out, so you're draw 3 trashing 2. And Marguerite's always just going to be search 1, trash 1. And you're getting that body out of hand. So I think running 1 is dangerous, but it usually comes in when you need it the most. And you really only need 1 against 99% of the decks. Next in the core is going to be Zoro. This card is stupid busted. Play this on 4, trash another Zoro, or trash a Boa Sandersonia so you can set up the next part of the core, which is Gecko Moria. A lot of people ask me, why are we running this card if we don't have a Thriller Bark package? You want to think of this card as the I Rayquaza Help event that got pair banned with Borsalino, because the trigger is the best for us, because whenever we play out something like Zoro or Boa Sandersonia, we are drawing a card. I'm pretty sure no other deck can do that whenever using the Gecko Moria trigger. So with Zoro, we're going hand neutral because we're drawing 1 and we are trashing it to, or we can do it out of order. You can choose to do the on play first. So if you have the top of your deck set up, you can choose which heals you do, which is where I also want to get into the 5-cost blue Nami. Anybody that's running a card that sets up deck like this is usually split between Nami and Namule. I'm not sure what set that is off the top of my head, but he's a 3-cost. So Nami draws 3 and puts 2 on top or bottom, and Namule is draw 2, place 2 on top or bottom. So this is something that I think is just better because it's got a good stat line. I think Namule is a 3-2 or a 3-3. I mean, honestly, I can look it up right now. Yeah, he's a 3/2, so easily popped by something like El Thor, easily rested by Mama Ragen. A lot of people just have a great way to get rid of a 2k body like this, and the stat line doesn't make up for its, you know, lower cost. Nami's great because she's a 5/6 blocker, and if you use something like Gorgon Sisters, she's a 7k swinger. And it just netted you a card. Well, you pretty much go hand neutral after playing this out, and you just set your deck up on top of that. So that's why I think Nami is just better. Also, it has an alt art, so those of you that want to make your deck look good, I think this is a great alt to pick up. I think we're one of the only decks using this still in the meta, besides Blue-Purple Luffy, but he's not as relevant as he once was. And then we kind of go to the thing that just makes yellow so good right now, which is Borsalino. I mean, if you've been playing anytime since OP15, you know that this card is just disgustingly broken. You can use Nami to set up 2 Moria triggers, and then heal one of them, and then that'll heal the other one if you sequence it right with your leader effect. Or you can use Nami on 0 life to put 2 You're the One Who Should Disappear. I think this is a great way to filter all these bricks that we run. I think we've definitely cut down from what it was, but just the fact that Moria is a 4 of, as basically just, I need to see this in my life, and nothing else, this is a great way to filter that out, if you're not able to put it in life. And then also the trigger is just as good as the Moria trigger, except we don't get to draw a card. Then you have the 8-cost Teach. This is really good. This is what we were doing with the 4-cost blocker Boa, which is something I'll kind of get into why I don't run that anymore. But the Teach is gonna look at the top 3 and heal whichever one you want, which is really nice, really situational, and you know, just perfect for what we do, because there's gonna be some times where we don't have a 4-cost in trash. But Teach can help us set up whatever we want. It can be one of these blockers. It can be a 9-cost Boa that puts a Rayleigh in on the field, rather. Or it can just be Rayleigh itself. It's a really great card, and it's an 8/10 stat line. This is something that a million times you're going to be one of playing this on 8. And it's just that good. You know, Sandersonia, the reason I'm running this over the 4-cost Hancock blocker, it's just because of the trigger. So if you have 2 or less life cards, play this card. So you can only proc this on your 3rd life and below. So if this is your 1st life, it will just go straight to trash if you try to trigger it. So just be careful of that. Great card. I think the fact that you can play this out with the 9-cost Boa trigger is just perfect. And this has saved me in many, many games when it comes to, you know, someone swinging out and suddenly this gets played, especially if they've already rested 2 blockers. This is probably one of the most annoying cards for them to see coming out of life. Also, kind of want to just go into the 2-cost setups. So these are usually played on 2 or late game to set up your life. That way, you know what's there. You can get these Morias out of hand. The reason I'm only running 3 Grandma and 1 Hiyori is because this trigger is just too good. I mean, especially if you're not seeing what you need out of life, you use the Grandma trigger to play her out, draw a card first, and then you can activate her on play to replace the life. So you have so many more options than just Hiyori. Hiyori is kind of a last resort if this is just something you pull on turn 1 and you're going second. Then you need to put this Gorgon Sisters in life or a Marigold. You can use it. I mean, we run enough of these 0-cost event and we heal enough that 1 2k isn't going to be the end of the world. I just think Granignon is super good. Just kind of situational setup because we heal so much that we usually see the triggers we need. And Nami is really doing that work for us at the end of the game. So Gloriosa is just kind of a failsafe at the end of the day and helps us draw a card. And then she's also a Gorgon Sisters target, which is really important. I think that's it. Besides Rayleigh. Rayleigh is my tech card for the deck. So a lot of people run Gravity Blade or another perfume or don't really care for removal. I think having one of these is really important. I wish I was able to fit in Slave Arrows so I could use this twice and then also have a 4k counter, but I think one is fine. It helps with a bunch of random matchups. You'll probably see in these videos especially the Mihawk matchup. It kills the new starter deck Mihawk. It kills a lot of stuff in red-green and blue-green Luffy. It helps us out in a bunch of random rogue matchups, and it's just a great card that, you know, establishes a 6k body that can turn into 7 with Gorgon Sisters effect. And it can also be played off the 9-cost Boa trigger, which lets you draw a card on top of all of that. So I think this list has great synergy. I usually see what I need, and the game plan is always going to be Granny Yon if you can. If not, just attach a Dawn to your leader and pass. And then you're going to Zoro. Pretty much always if you can. Ran is a good second option. I normally don't park Sandersonia. You know, I don't have to because Ran just helps us get a Dawn under leader. But if you can Zoro to trash a Zoro, that's the best 4-Dawn play you can make. And then Kuma on 6 if you can. You can. He's just great because you can keep him from getting gravity bladed the turn after he's played. He becomes an 8-cost. He's a body that's going to stick because no one wants to heal you even more than you're already healing. And he's always going to be swinging for at least 7. So he's going to be your 6-Dawn play, and then it's going to be Teach. If you don't have a Teach, you should be looking for another Kuma, or you can use a Rayleigh to kind of help clear their board. Or if you have no other options, playing this Moria out as an 8-10 vanilla is perfectly fine. A lot of people don't like to do it, but I honestly think it's better than just playing like a Granny Nyon and passing, or just attaching all your Dawn. We're in a meta where a lot of people are aggro and also controlling your board, so having more bodies is super important, so you can kind of, you know, keep that tempo going. And then from then on in, you're just going to be wanting to, you know, look at your life, prioritize 9-cost Boa to get them to 0, and then your win con is swinging 20 unblockable. That's pretty much it. I definitely want to get into some of the games and try to do a lot of what I think will be present in regionals or in just any meta as we move forward. It's kind of hard to tell with the OP17 leaders, but I feel confident that this is a great list going into this current one. I think our weakest matchup is Black Yellow Teach, especially since that dice roll is going to be deciding pretty much the whole game. Blue Yellow Nami is hard, and it was kind of gatekeeping us from a meta for a long time, but your priority there is going to be Zoro and Takuma and to Teach. Just trust your curve, like a lot of yellow decks, and then if you fall behind or can't stabilize or aren't triggering, Borsalino is going to save you. I mean, while it's still unbanned, I think this card should be banned. As a longtime yellow player, I think this is just too much, because double Borsa will save you at the end of the game, and it will help you draw cards, and it'll help you stabilize, and it'll help you burn more life so you can just go your 20 unblockable. So just trust your curve, trust in these broken healing yellow cards, and you can out-resource pretty much every leader in the game. I just think Teach and Nami are the hardest ones. I think red-green Luffy isn't super easy, but it's definitely manageable. And then blue-green Luffy is definitely just, if they see what they need on their side, you kind of need to react properly. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the games, and I'll kind of walk you through my thought process on each of them. Okay, so we're going to get into a Mihawk game. Unfortunately, with his new stuff, you want to be going second, but I physically can't win a dice roll in this sim. So we're just going to kind of talk through it. I definitely think the best mulligan that you can have against Mihawk is Zoro, a 9-cost Boa, and a Marigold. So we're going to keep this. I mean, I see 2 of those, and Borsalino can kind of help us. You're going to see the new Mihawk builds. Oh, I guess he took second. Or he took first, so just ignore everything I just said about the curve. I think you should be taking second as Mihawk with his current build. So, as you can see, our hand has already, fixed itself completely. We're going to use Granny Nyon to set up our top life. So this does 2 things. It either dissuades him from swinging at us, or it makes him go all out, and we just get bodies and draw. So we're just going to react to that. Usually a Mihawk will go 5-5 here with this new Kinemon. If he goes 8, I wouldn't be surprised, and then he can also just starve us. And so he can also go 5, and then now that there's a 5 cost, he can rest this Kinemon, restand 2 Dawn, and swing 5 again. If he really wants to go aggro. I don't think that's the best thing to do as Mihawk, but a lot of them find that it works because if you don't trigger, you don't trigger. Now we're going to be doing this Zoro into a Grandma. We're gonna swing 5, and we're gonna try to leave, or we're gonna try to turn Marigold sideways. A lot of people wouldn't agree with this because I don't have a Dawn right now. But this Marigold's going to get stun locked on 5. He will be playing the Perona that stuns 2 5Ks, I believe, or 5 costs. 5 costs, I think. And it's just gonna mess us up. Or the Bonnie, yeah, which is perfectly fine. I'd much rather him freeze that Marigold than freeze my Dawn right now. And then he's not gonna swing at it, which is the best part. So now we're gonna be looking for Akuma here. That will kind of complete our curve. I'm half praying that he swings out, but he's not. I thought he was going to kind of do the 5-5 split. But we're definitely taking 5. I mean, if he swings at Marigold 7, we're just going to take it. We're going to let her die. But I don't think he will. He won't. So we have another Zoro, which is just okay for this next play. An important thing to see is make sure you look at your hand. If this is something that, you know, if Gorgon Sisters came out, I only have 1 to 2 Kuja targets, so this isn't a Gorgon Sisters game. This is going to be, I'm using this yellow good stuff and I'm healing a bunch game. So our next turn is going to be Teach into Hancock after that. And we are just whittling down his hand by swinging 6s, and 1 6 and 1 7. As some would say, 6-7. A trick is always let Zoro die. At least 1, because I don't have any more in trash. So if we end up seeing Moria trigger, it just brings it right back. My biggest advice, if someone's watching this and they hate Boa and they want to keep her, you know, from winning, don't swing at Zoro. It's never worth it. I'm always going to have a Moria here, and if there's none in trash, don't kill Zoro. You can start swinging at him once there's the 1 in trash, but I love when someone swings 6 into my Zoro. Just kind of waiting on him here. He's given us a lot of cards in hand, which is nice. No matter what he swings, I'm taking it. Ooh, that's interesting. He should have done that in the last turn. I'm not sure why he didn't, which I would have taken it last turn. Let's see. We're gonna do this, and we're just gonna see if he has bricks. He probably does have a 1K. Yeah, he does. But that gets a Perona out of his hand, so it helps me keep him from doing some crazy stuff next time. So this is interesting. I think we need to put Perfume in life because I only run the 1 and I'm probably going to need it later. You could argue maybe you should put Gorgon Sisters in life. Sometimes that's just what you have to do. It looks like he's got his Law Blocker set up, and if I burn him to 0 and can't get past it, I'm gonna have a harder time. I think that's the best thing to do, especially with 5 life. I think there are other trigger bodies in this life, so I think we're fine missing out on 1 Gorgon Sisters. It's kind of the same thing. If I give him a card here, he's just gonna swing at it again. I'd rather give up my board and let him go into my life so I can establish more board. I think he's super bricked because he's giving us all these 1Ks that are searchers and, you know, draw power to save his stuff, and then he's forced to play something like Tashigi, which I'm not saying, you know, 2 7Ks for 6 Dawn is bad. I just think, you know, there's other stuff to be played. And yeah, we can let Grandma go. She's never important in a non-slave arrow build. And then this is going to be a no trigger because we know what it is. And then we're going to swing first and then do the 9 cost Boa. we're gonna try to get a card out of his hand because I'm going to swing out at his leader after this. So I want to. Okay, he's just gonna let it happen, which is even better. We got that character off the field, and we just took a life, and then we get him to 0, and we're at 5 life, and then we pass. And our one con here is do perfume on Hancock. If she gets stunned for whatever reason, we do it to Blackbeard instead. And there's just no way they can law Beppo like they are doing now, and also kill Teach in one turn. So we're just gonna take any hit that comes our way. Perfume on Teach is a great option. I think this game was pretty streamlined, and they gave a lot of counter early, which messed them up later on. And now I'm at 5 and they're at 0. The only thing that he could do is swing 10 at Teach, which I don't think is smart. Or he can leave 3 Dawn up for events, so he can go to 9, 11, or 9, or no, he's a 7k. Let's see. And he's draw 1 trash and 1. And there we go. So we get this. We do Zoro. I don't really want to trash any of this, so I'm gonna draw first just to see. And I didn't get anything good. So I ended up just trashing Nami. So yeah, because he swung at my Zoros, I have them in trash. And the more that he kills, the more Moria triggers I can activate. Which is why, if you're watching this and you want to learn how to play against Boa, don't kill Zoro. It's really annoying. For you. So I'm about to swing 20,000 unblockable, and then he's going to have to give me, these are going to have to be 4Ks, so he goes 11, sure, I don't think this guy knows what he's doing, GG, alright, yeah, he just loses, and then look at this life, you have Rayleigh to pop a 7K or a 6K, you have Boa Marigold to trigger a blocker, you have Moria to trigger Zoro, which he killed the other one that set it up in trash. You have Sandersonia, and that plays itself out as a blocker, and then you have Shaki to draw more cards or just have a 2K. And each one of these, except for Rayleigh, is drawing you a card, which is insane. Like, there's no reason a deck like this should be able to do this and keep up with something that's one of the best decks and just got super buffed. I'm not saying this Mihawk was a regional level player, but it's kind of the way you need to think. You want to trim his hand by swinging small 6s either at him or a 7 over his 6k bodies. I think you go face for the most part and just keep healing. But he doesn't run a lot of 2Ks. I mean, even then, if you look here, he gave me 2 of them, and he has none in hand after that. He played a Kiku Nojo so he could keep his rest engine going, but there's no 2Ks in here. So if I swing 8 at him right now, he has to give me 1/1 or an event. And I'm going for game, and he's got 1, 2, 5, 8 counter. That's it. Out of 2 events, and he's only got 1 done. So I think the trick to Mihawk is swing 1 over him, so he's got to give you a 2K or 2 cards or an event. And, just kind of whittle down his hand, keep the life burn going with the 9-cost Boa, and, just trust that curve I was mentioning earlier. Alright, so I've got a purple Enel player. The best thing to do here is try to see Zoro. This Marigold isn't that great because he can just rest it with Mamaragan. But I do like having a Hancock here. I'm gonna mulligan, and if we get a bad hand, I'll show you guys how to react with a bad hand. But this is really good, so we're gonna be happy we mulliganed. I think that's the best thing to do. So I'm looking at my hand, and I see 4 Kuja Pirates, so this is gonna try to be a Gorgon Sisters game. I'm going to attach a Dawn to leader because he can swing at life, Mama Ragged me, and then kill whatever, and if I didn't have a Dawn under, he won't be punished for it. I do that with every leader, even if they don't have any kind of removal. Most of the time, Enel is going to swing 5-7 here, or he's going to play out another Ohm or Satori. We'll see. A lot of Enels just like to swing out. I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, but that's what a lot of them do to me. And here we go. Yeah. It's exactly, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's 5-8. And no trigger. And then Zoro is going to be our next play. This is fun. So remember that Shaki's only when you have 2, or your opponent has 3 or less life. I think we get rid of Ohm here just to try to keep him from hollying. Oops, I meant to do Zoro, but it's okay. We're gonna do this. We'll heal with Kuma into Zoro next time, and we're fine. I mean, this is not like anything bad. I think Kuma into Zoro is good because it sets up the Moria trigger for later, and we can use these bodies that are hard to get rid of to kind of keep Enel in check later. Interesting. Sure, that makes sense. But he is, making it harder to set himself up for Reiju. And then, yeah, this is a Gorgon Sisters game. So we're going to go Kuma into Zoro. We're going to reveal 3. And then we're going to swing out. And there's really not much he can do about that. Sure. I'm not sure what the point of that is. Maybe just a cycle. Kuma, Zoro, Gorgon Sisters. We're going to show him 3 2Ks. And then don't forget to Ran Effect. I usually just do it under leader because why not? So he is not giving us events, which is crazy. Okay, I think he just messed up there. It's fine. It happens. I think he clicked the wrong one, like how I accidentally clicked Ran. But even in like I was watching a championship or a regional in Japan, and someone accidentally overcountered as a Enel. It happens all the time. I think he's gonna try to swing higher here, maybe 6-6-7. Reiju's not at her point, and now she is. But if we see a Rayleigh in life, it can KO this Reiju, which is really good. If I see a Rayleigh come into my hand, I might just play him out. Or a 6-6-6, I guess. I'm gonna take the first. Okay, 5-6-6. I'm gonna take the first one and just see if I get a Rayleigh, and I'm popping this Reiju. If not, I'm kind of just hoping for a body that I'm gonna swing with and then play over, or probably play over Shaki. Alright, I think he's gonna try to go for board. I've got to give him, okay, here's the mindset, right? He's gonna go 5-6-6, or he's gonna use events to bring them down further and then just pop them with L4. I have to give 2 2Ks to save something anyway, so I'm just gonna make him take the first life. to guarantee that we get that out of the way. And I think you should go for characters there. But that's fine. Yeah, I definitely think you should swing at Shaki. Okay, let's see. So we don't have a way to set up Moria, and I don't think that we're in a really good spot life-wise, or at least counter-wise. I'm not clearing any of these. I'm just gonna go face because it's a lot easier. I definitely wouldn't clear Shura here. I guess I could try to go for Senor Pink, but I just don't think it's worth it. I think what we do here, I think we Kuma into Ram, we Gorgon Sisters. I'll show him this. Honestly, I probably can swing over like this. I don't think he lets him stay. Because what I'm going to do next turn, I'm going to Nami into Borsalino to kind of show you guys that combo, because it's really hard for Enel to deal with it. I have no idea why he would do that. We're just going to Whittle Hand, because it's easier for me to get something like this out of his hand than, you know, whenever he gives like a 2k that he doesn't really care about, like Vari, for his Enel. It's better for me, I should say. It's better for me to get something like Satori out of hand than anything else. Yeah, so next turn we're going to do Nami into Borsa, and we're going to try to get another Moria to set up. And I like to think ahead. I kind of don't like to play reactive to my own triggers. I like to sit here and say, okay, sure, you know what, heal me. I like to sit here and say, okay, if I do see a Moria out of life, what am I trashing? I think it's Rand here. I think she's kind of, you know, done her thing. We have enough Gorgon Sister targets, so Nami into Borsa to heal, and then set up heals, then heal, then Gorgon Sisters is great. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to kill both Kumas. Maybe Gum Gum Lightning. So he has a 5-5-6-6 split, or he can do, okay, he just leaves. It's kind of hard to show you guys what to do in these events whenever the players just aren't doing it for me. But you kind of get the gist. It's the same thing. You want to react to what he's got on the board. I don't think he was the best player. I also think he saw his Enels super late. And something else you want to be cognizant of is this law. You are going to draw a lot of cards, and if you have 7, that's the threshold for this, and it's really annoying to have a plan and then get it messed up here. I can kind of talk to you about my life and what I would have done if he had done the right thing. I mean, it looks like he just drew into this. I think, yeah. Trying to see. Yeah, it looks like he searched, found Lightning Beast. So he played Shura, drew this, searched for Lightning Beast, drew this, I guess. I don't know. And then he played Lightning Beast, which drew him another one. So he just saw his Enels late. But Granny here, I will definitely use this to put Moria in life so I can go ahead and just heal. And then I'll switch my game plan. I'll probably use Rayleigh to pop something and then swing out. Especially if he plays like a Reiju, but I don't know if that was the best game to use as an example, but you kind of understand that there's just really nothing he can do about us healing once per turn and having bodies that he can't get rid of. All right, now we have Red Green Luffy. The curve that we want to take is second. I'm kind of looking at this hand here. It's not the worst. I definitely think we want to try to mulligan for Rayleigh. Or at least 9-cost Boa. Yeah, 9-cost Boa is definitely something we want to see, and this is perfect. This is probably the best hand that I could get, or at least 2 of the best cards I can get for this matchup. Teach Trigger is really important in this, because if he plays Laboon, we are going to negate that and then KO something else. Rayleigh's kind of hard if he puts Laboon down. Sometimes he will mess up, use all his Dawn, and won't have anything to rest. You just kind of have to catch him whenever he does something like that. Usually against RG Luffy, if he... I don't think there's a way for him to get out of 8 here, so I always swing 8. I don't even think it's worth it to set up something with Grandma. I think you try to burn as much life as you can early, because it's going to get a lot harder. We're going to take that. We're not going to get anything. It's going to be kind of hard if we don't draw a Zoro, but we get a Rand here, which is nice. And he's going to counter out of this, but skill check at the end of the day. Rayleigh kind of saved us there, which is nice. Usually they will do... If I had to guess what the best turn is here, it's Sanji, but he's going to do that instead, which is fine. He's going to do 1000 Sunny to give Luffy a Rested Dawn. Okay, that's kind of annoying, but we kind of just have to deal with it. We're going to do that. That's important to know. Just read this. Make sure you have 2 or less life when she comes out. And we're going to use Rayleigh to pop this Luffy here. And then always make sure that he has 3 or less life when you're going to do that. Yeah, he's always going to get out of 5-5, so we just pass. Don't want to put ourselves sideways if we don't have to. He can kind of just disable Sandersonia here, or he can Nami block her into Luna. But we're just going to see what he does and go from there. We're moving into our 9-Dawn turn, so the best thing to do is Boa into Ran. And if we can burn this life first, we always do. Yep. The rest of these 2, we can't burn the life, which is fine. But we're gonna Boa Ran. Okay. This is kind of tricky. I think we're gonna leave Boas up, because Shaki doesn't really do anything for us here. And that's the only body we can play off this. I'm pretty sure this is just this. And pass. We're in a good spot. If we can hit Sandersonia, I mean, and he's got to play over, if he wants to play multiple bodies here, he's got to play over Bonnie. I think he's going to play the Rush Zoro to make his leader bigger. But if he swings at us, we burn life. So it makes it really hard for Luffy. On, I guess, for another double attack. Or Brook. Okay. Rest Sandersonia, which is, it makes me glad that we kept 9-drop. Oh, okay. Never mind. T-Trigger is really good there. And we're just gonna do Boa again. We just gotta be careful. We're just searching for perfume here to win the game, but we gotta be careful about him over swinging. If he does, or if we get close to 0, we can always do Nami Borsa here. So I'm probably gonna take a life. Because this is the, you know, seeing on this right side, this is the best thing to do with Nami Borsa. It's Nami, draw 3, put these 2 back, Borsa 1, and I actually don't have a Zoro, I realize, so maybe it's not the best idea. Double Borsa is always good too. Might give him a 2K here. Because we want to save the slot for Boa. I honestly might be able to go for a game here. We'll see. Oh yeah, definitely now. Except we don't have enough for Gorgon. Okay, we're just gonna double Borsa. We have just enough. He's got 7, 9, 11, so he just needs a 1K. Or Charleston. Which is kind of dumb. It's the same thing as doing the 2. I think he might have messed up. Unless he just does an event here. Okay, he should have just done his Dawn. So still just looking for perfume. It sucks because we've got all these Morias and no Zoros. And really no way to get Zoro and Trash reliably right now. So we just gotta be careful of Brook here as well. think we are just fine. Yeah, you can really out-resource Red Green Luffy. It's not really worth it. Not really worth it to play over. I think we're fine, but we're gonna do this for fun. Oh, it should have been Borsa. That's fine. Cool guy. Unfortunately, just I wouldn't say high roll. Seeing Teach Trigger is really important. Seeing multiple 9-drop bows is really important, and seeing Rayleigh, very important, especially if he doesn't drop Laboon. Okay, I kind of wanted to go over this matchup. A lot of people ask me, you know, how do you manage this? I feel like it's fairly easy. I mean, watch me say this and still lose. You want to see something like this. So I have a clear line here. Grandma doing Gorgon Sisters. And then whenever he swings out and he brings me low, I can Borsalino really quickly. And then I have Teach, and then I have Boa. So it's perfect. And the Granny-Yones aren't useless in this matchup because they can swing at the little Luffys if you really want to. My game plan is to just pretty much go face. A lot of their little guys they have to play over anyways, so it's not really worth running something like Wiper, because we already do a great job into this matchup because we have a great hand size and we heal so much. That's why Teach is kind of unfavored into this because he doesn't draw a lot. And honestly, he could swing 4 here and I'm taking it. I don't care. We're going to be mindful, right? I'm not going, if I want a Gorgon Sisters here, I'm not going to pitch one of these. I think I'm going to pitch a Moria. It's really important to just be mindful of what you've got in hand. I know I'm going to swing out, and, you know, it sucks to get a Moria in trash when it could be in life, but it's not as important in this matchup. And, you know, having higher swings, getting more 2Ks out of hand is way more important than this one Moria. It's an easy take. We have another Zoro. If he brings us to 2, we're just going to Borsa. Just kind of hope for another trigger here. Ooh. Honestly, I'm gonna let it go because we are racing him right now. We're gonna do this. Gonna put a Dawn under leader even though it doesn't matter. And we're gonna swing 6 and then 7 with leader. It's kind of hard to give up Gorgon like that whenever we have, you know, a good thing going, but it's better than giving a, you know, a 1k out of hand that I can use to survive later. I think there's an argument for both there. Alright, now he's got his full board of all 5 differently named characters. And we're going to take the Zoro death if we can here. And it's probably going to be right here. Or not. Ran. I think he's going to realize that my board is getting too full. Yeah, we'll see. I might save the Zoro here if he swings like 6 into it. Yeah, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do Granny, and then we're gonna do something a little special. We're gonna swing 6 with him, and then we're gonna play over him. So that way he goes in trash. For some reason he gave that up. That way he goes in trash. This kind of sucks, but we'll just put a 2k in life. This. We kind of have to be careful here, right? Because if he gets restand of that, we just die. And if we also bring him to 0, he can just wipe our board. I'm going to kill 1. I don't think he should have let Prisoner go. I think he was just playing more careful before the teach came out, which I totally respect it. Sometimes you don't know if the opponent is going to swing out with everything. But I think this is the right move. I think playing over the Zoro is right, and hopefully it's a great way to, what's it called? See Moria actually do something in life. Especially after we trashed him. Alright, this is a little harder. But the reason I kind of pivoted to one of his characters there, not just for the restand event, like if he did Galdino, and then tried to go for a game, he is not going to be able to kill our board as easily. I'm actually going to let Zoro go. It's perfectly fine. He's not going to be able to kill our Rands as easily because we would just go face and just win the game every single time. We're gonna play it out. It was a 2k, but now it's a body. Okay, so we have, I think we do this. We're gonna do teach to negate one thing and KO another, and then we'll Gorgon Sisters. So we've got 4 sevens. Someone might think, oh, why don't you just 9-cost Boa and then you're ready for, you know, to go for game next time. It's kind of the same thing. He's giving me that. That's great. We're going to swing with characters first, because we are playing around the Luna trigger that he's already shown us he has one. I'm doing teach so I can try to get a Moria in life to be more prepared for a restand event. Gonna see what he does here. This is gonna be difficult. I think if he tries to protect this, no, he doesn't. Okay, we're gonna let that go. And then we're gonna just swing 8, and then we have it next turn with perfume, no matter what. Yeah, I don't think he gets out of this. I think he just loses. We did a good job pivoting between life and board. You know, recognizing when to do that. I don't know if I finished my thought earlier because I was kind of just thinking about what he was going to do. If we go for life and we bring him to 0, it's easier for him to perfume us. We're going to do that. And I guess I could have negated Hancock, but it's fine. If we bring him to 0, it's easier for him to clear our board. I don't know if that's what I had said earlier, but it's easier for him to clear our board because he's not getting punished for it. So if we pivot to his board after we've trimmed his hand, it makes him just feel really bad. It makes it feel super awkward and there's not much he can do. So something funny is we can do this, we can do this, and get an extra. And we become 21, which is nice. Only thing to be mindful of is Rand cannot give Restodon to Teach, but Gorgon Sisters can, which is really nice. That's kind of how I beat Goofy. I mean, obviously, if I know I'm going to win next turn, I'm going to take a lot more life. And then, you know, Teach Trigger is really important. Playing out Teaches are really important. We actually saw 3 of them that time. So you can still win those games without Moria Trigger. And, you know, just kind of recognizing when to go for face versus board is important. All right, this is my most commonly requested matchup. How do we beat Nami? Most important thing, we're gonna get this Gecko trigger out of there, which is fine. I think the most important thing is to trust your curve, like I've said before. Get something out on 4, get this Zoro out. We're going, because we put a Gorgon Sisters, we're actually gonna get rid of Rayleigh. I think he's gonna try to starve us, which I don't really care. And then this next turn, we're going to go Ram. Rayleigh's kind of useless in this matchup. Good if they park a Galdino for some reason. And then we've got our Kuma. This is perfect. We're going to go Kuma trashing Moria, and then, yeah. So we could have used Rayleigh here. But never mind. I'm speaking way too soon. We're going to go this. We're going to go this into this, and we'll pass. This is the way to beat Nami. Zoro, Kuma, Teach. And then you go Boa, 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 Boa. Hey, that's okay with me. And he's gonna go Gorgon Sister, or he's gonna take this Gorgon Sisters out of our life. If he swings, we take it, because he's already gotten his card draw. This is ideal, 100%. This is the best way. We are going to do... it sucks, but we're putting Hancock in life because we need it. We are gonna need it. We're gonna swing 7 with Zoro. With Kuma, and because if he triggers out Perona on that first one, it's really annoying to deal with. And I just kind of hope he swings at Zoro here, even though we've passed up on 2 Morias. So this first one is no trigger. It's fine. And he can't draw here. If he goes for Zoro, I might save him this time. I'm gonna save him because he's gonna go Moria here. Or Teach, I guess, which is fine. We're gonna take this Boa, make this Boa take it back. go Gorgon. This. He doesn't have a Perona in trash, so we can do this. Okay, I think he messed up. Yeah, he's super messed up. I mean, maybe not. Maybe he meant to use the Perona trigger. If he doesn't heal here, he just loses. Interesting. I'm sure I'll add that to hand. That 2K. This is what will tell me if he's a good player or not. If he just swings life, okay, he's good. He knows what he's doing. If he swings life, then he knows that I'm gonna have to play over my board. If he swings board here, then I have to play over it. Not worth it. We're gonna keep more Kujas. He doesn't want to turn Blackbeard sideways. So with Gorgon Sisters, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll show you guys a cool trick. So let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not including Zoro. If I play over Zoro with the Zoro, I'm gonna get this Dawn back. And then I'll have 5 that I can distribute. So we'll go Zoro into this. Because even if we do win here, it's not a bad idea to just get an extra heal. Just in case. He doesn't have it. And that's how you beat Nami. Easy. Zoro, Kuma, Teach, Boa. And then if you can get a Gorgon Sisters, it really helps whittle down their hand. I'm not sure what kind of build he's playing. It looks like a Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Thriller Bark, Nami, Slop. Whatever they put in to try to beat Mihawk, I guess. But if you do Zoro, Kuma, Teach, Boa, you pretty much cannot lose because they are so far on the back foot that sometimes they can't even play Robin just because they're so far behind. And they're playing like that weird Ziha stuff, and then look how far ahead we are. So that's probably the best way to go about it. Alright guys, so that'll do it for today's video. I kind of just wanted to post something and get back in the swing of things as I'm preparing for the Oklahoma Regional. I don't think, by any means any matchup is just free, but I think we have a great toolbox until Bandai nerfs yellow that we can keep up with a lot of the stuff that's running the meta right now. A lot of these players are just random people on the sim, but it's, I hope it's helpful that I'm talking about my thought process between these games and, making it easier for you guys to understand what to do differently if you feel like you're struggling with these matchups, because I'm going into these back to back and knowing what to do and winning all of them. So if you guys have any questions, I'm always in the Discord as Soul. Please feel free to reach out or DM me, and I'll be working on this document as kind of a guide to help you guys out. So all right, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later.